The United States 5, Uruguay 1. For the first time since I can remember, we absolutely took a team that is considered one of the best teams in South America and destroyed them. Completely destroyed them, guys. That was a rout, especially in the first half. Um, very bizarre circumstances for sure, but take nothing away from our boys. Every single person on the team contributed in some way today. And even though it was a lot of our C team guys, and yeah, sure, all of Uruguay's team wasn't there either, but at this point, it doesn't matter. A lot of our first team guys weren't there either, and we still managed to go out there and thump them. And I have not seen the US play like this under any manager. To go and take it to Uruguay, to score all those goals, to create as many chances as we did. I'm very curious what's going to happen to Bielsa now because I've never seen Uruguay play that way either. But damn, that was something beautiful to watch. Hey, Tack, how we feeling?
Oh, great. Beating Uruguay 5-1. It's what we said during the live watch along. Uruguay's worst loss in the history of the game for them was a 6-0 loss in 1902, so over 100 years ago. And we almost broke that record. Now, it felt like we could have broken, we could have done it. I don't think the players were aware of that record that they could have broken. But regardless, when you beat Uruguay 5-1, you can only be happy, regardless of the context of it.
No, for sure. Context or not, we'll see what happens to Bielsa tomorrow. But we beat them 5-1. And to me, this is sort of the cherry on the cake. The cake for me was the performance against Japan, the performance against Ecuador, the performance against Australia, the performance against Paraguay. And then this one shows this is a pattern where the team, Pochettino, has every single person on that field believing they can go to a World Cup. And every single person is fighting for a spot. Now, who end up actually going? I still think at the end of the day, Poch is going to bring our best players to the World Cup, but he's got every single person believing they have a shot if they're willing to work for it. So everyone's going out there and playing their guts out and trying to get a spot on that World Cup, right? Jesse Negron says Poch has this B squad of MLS players playing better than any Berhalter team. Yeah, 100%. 100%. We talked about this on Tax Stream. The culture problem that this team had when Poch took over was created by Berhalter, right? Berhalter wanted to be buddy-buddy with these guys. There was no accountability. And so Poch inherited a team that had way too much leeway to do whatever they wanted. They could play golf. They could go out and smoke hookah after a game. They could show up to Copa America overweight, no consequences. The only one who had any accountability was Gio. If Gio did something bad, then it was trouble for him. But everybody else, Berhalter kind of let them do whatever they wanted. And so that's why this team looked the way it looked. And I don't always agree with Poch, and I've criticized him, but he's winning me over today. I mean, not just today. Today is like the final straw. But these 5 games in a row, Poch has showed us a glimpse of what this team could look like at the World Cup the next year. And if you think this same mentality, except with our best players at home, with the hopes and the dreams of the country riding on our shoulders, we could look really, really good.
I would say he has won me over.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
and I can expand upon why. One, first and foremost, we when you're analyzing a team, you have to be flexible and ready to admit when you're wrong about something and all that. And he was losing us mainly because of the results, the performances, and roster selections that have been all weird.
Yeah.
But it does look like there was a plan and work behind it. It does look
Mm.
like things have been fixed. Like his main goal, it looks like he didn't really care about the results. It was more about fixing the culture, which that clearly
Yeah.
has done, and figuring out what's the best formation for the team, learning the player pool. And it looks like he has fixed the culture. He has players fighting for a spot, every single player. He has found the right formation that he will probably go moving forward, closing 2025.
Yeah.
Uh, and it looks like we talked about this, how first fix the culture, find the right formation, and now he's starting to build momentum, and we're peaking right on time for the World Cup. So he has won me over. I He's not free of criticism, but he will have my full support until the World Cup is done. And that's
Yeah.
ultimately where we're going to judge his work, right? What
Yeah.
happens there. And keep in mind, once again, full support does not mean we just like don't criticize anything he does. We're not cheerleaders. So if he does
We're
something
not
and messes
pom-pom
up,
fans.
exactly, right that. What I mean by full support is, let's say he puts out a weird lineup in the first World Cup game. We'll point it out, but give him the benefit of the doubt until we see the result, because the guy seems to know what he is doing. And again, it's not like I see in the chat, it's not going full glaze mode, because even today there are a few things that we'll address, and I hope he doesn't do in the future. But it's just being fair. If look, the way things are going right now, if you keep saying he's doing a crap job, then you're just like being stubborn and trying to die on this hill. I'm not going to die on this hill.
Also, the performances and results are not saying that, right? And that's ultimately what we look at. We look at performances, we look at results, and the performances and results have been good. I mean, to go from getting destroyed in the first half by Switzerland, like we looked like Uruguay did today against Switzerland, to losing 2-1 to Turkey, right? To losing to Mexico in the Gold Cup final, to losing both games in the Nations League final and third place playoff, right? To losing to South Korea and looking terrible, to go to where we're at now is mad growth. And that is something that I don't think we can criticize. I mean, not that you can't criticize it. It's impressive because as soon as that formation switch came, I think the formation switch came at the same time as we had sort of the culture momentum trying to build, where Poch had finally got his message across to everybody. If you're not willing to die for this team, you're not going to be here, right? Simple as that. And that happened simultaneously with the switch to 3-4-2-1. So now you have this sort of double piston of the culture changing and also a formation that best suits our player pool. And the results on that have been electric. The outcome of those two things happening simultaneously have been amazing. Now, there's not much to be negative about in this game. I think this is all joy. This is all positive. This is all happiness.
I was getting angry that we weren't getting the 6th and 7th because I wanted us to break the record. But one thing that came to mind during it is like the players definitely don't know about this record. There's no way they went to the game even thinking about this or looked it up because they never thought it would get.
Though, like, do they care about the record? I don't know if I care that much about
It
it.
matters to me. Yeah, it did.
It matters to you because you hate Uruguay.
No, it's just that it's just something that would have been historic for this team. The win was historic regardless, but it's just that I don't think we're ever going to have another opportunity like this to just like be the biggest defeat in the history of a World Cup champion, right?
Sure.
And we were so close. And look, we could have done it. It felt like we could have. We could have beat them 7-1.
I felt like a little bit. Two things happened in the second half. One, Uruguay was just playing so dirty. They just started fouling us. Every time we get the ball, they just knock us over. And that was really frustrating because we were not able to build any momentum. The other thing was that I felt like our guys started to get too individual in the second half. Everyone's just trying to dribble and beat the players when there was better passes open. We kind of got a little too excited in that second half, where usually, we see the rotations, we see the ball moving. It felt like everyone was like, wow, this Uruguay team is crap. And we got all excited about what was happening. And everyone's just kind of trying to beat too many players. Balogun trying to do it over that time that he swiped the guy's face. That happened when we tried to beat 3 players on the touchline. I think we got to let the excitement get to us a little bit, and that's dangerous. You have to stay even keeled, even when you're very excited, because I think we could have put 7-8 goals if we did. I think we kind of lost our heads a little bit in that second half between the way Uruguay was playing and everybody just being like, oh, this is my chance to get a brace or something. And I didn't enjoy that, but that's a very small criticism in the overall very, very positive performance from almost everybody. There was a few players who weren't that good, like maybe Tim Tillman, but overall, almost everybody's getting above a 5.
It's also understandable, right? Like what you just described. Like it's a friendly. You have a 5-1 lead against Uruguay. It's understandable. Not, I agree with you that
it's understandable, but you can't do that at a World Cup, right? That to me, it speaks a little to mentality. And I think if Poch is going to say one thing to those guys, like, guys, we lost our heads a little bit that second half. Let's be honest. It's a learning moment. Let me put it that way. Nice win against Uruguay before the World Cup. We should give these players a chance to make the final roster. Which players? Because if everybody's fighting, you can't take everybody to a World Cup. You have 26. So who's going to go and who's going to stay? It's going to be some tough decisions for Poch. Personally, I think at the end of the day, he's still going to take his best players. I think there might be 1 or 2 guys that you could be like, I think he should have brought. You know whose places I think is most in danger right now? Johnny's of our A-team guys.
Well, he doesn't have a spot right now.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he doesn't have one. He would have to be starting for Atletico, and honestly, it
Get
might
called in
require
March and ball out.
well, it might require a few injuries for him to get in the March roster. That's the thing. You know how Gio mainly got here because of injuries? Otherwise, Gio would not have gotten this chance probably.
Okay, if Adams, Tessmann, Johnny, Roldan, and Berhalter are all available, why can't you bring those
McKenny,
5?
McKenny,
Kenny. So basically, he's probably
Aiden Morris
fighting.
too. Aiden Morris, who knows?
I don't actually think Aiden Morris was very good today.
No, but I
He's
don't
one.
know. But we don't know if Pochettino rates him higher than Johnny. He played, right? We don't know.
Sure. I think I would have Johnny over Morris or Berhalter, but that's a different story. I'm just saying from Johnny's perspective, from Poch's perspective, Johnny's looking at this and going, huh, it's going to be tough to break in now.
Yeah, the question with
Rocco,
Johnny, question with Johnny is this: I believe in March Pochettino will bring the World Cup roster. I don't think he's going to be
or very
experimenting.
close to it. Yeah.
Exactly, maybe 1 or 2 guys. The question is, does he leave one of these guys out of the roster? One of these guys that he sees as a roster player right now to try Johnny or not? That's the question. Because if Johnny's not in the March roster, there's probably no way he makes the World Cup unless we have an injury crisis and there's like 5 players injured in the midfield. That's the
Yeah.
only way. So
In a close World Cup game, I'm still worried about our defense against the best teams in the world. Oh, yeah, I am too. I am too. We'll talk a little about the defense later, maybe when we do player ratings, but I don't think our defensive problems have been fixed. I actually think they were good today against Uruguay, but I don't think maybe one of those 3 guys is starting at the World Cup, and that's probably going to be Alex Freeman. I have been told this, but wasn't sure, but it does seem Poch took short-term hits, bad results, media, and fan anger in order to change the culture and make a point to some of the starters. It shows. Yeah, well, he succeeded. He succeeded. He got that culture to change. Now, at the end of the day, what did he sacrifice to change that culture, right? He sacrificed team cohesiveness, right? And that's a problem. Not right now, at the beginning, right? There was and we're gonna go to a World Cup. And if we don't look very cohesive, that will be something that people point to and say, well, because we're trying to change the culture, so giving everybody a chance. He will be judged at the World Cup for sure. But as of right now, it's looking very, very good, and he deserves a lot of credit for how he's gone about this.
do
Uruguay
you
about
think
to take notes from Morocco and start their resurgence. Yeah, you had something to say first, Tech?
yeah, I was gonna say, do you think Pochettino, because I mean anyone that has followed international soccer for a while knows that most things that happen between the cycle don't matter too much long term, right? They mainly people judge you based on the World Cup, right? What you do there.
History or
Besides, like
memory.
for example, Bob Bradley getting to like a Confederations Cup final, things like that.
I think Copa America matters too.
Brazil, they don't. At least there, they don't.
That's Brazil. For the US, we're
No, no,
always going
for
to
us, no,
remember.
no, for us, yes. But I'm just saying. Okay, let's say we made it to the Copa America final or World Cup quarterfinals in this one. What would you pick?
Oh, World Cup for sure.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
even
the
close.
point. He probably like for us to like for the Copa America to matter for the US, we'd have to like make it to a final or win it. While the World Cup, a quarterfinals is already something a pretty big deal. We consider a good job from him, more exposure. Just ultimately, it's the World Cup, and he was willing to sacrifice things for that. Now, again, if it'll work, it's to be determined, right? We don't really know.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, how we do at the World Cup will be how Poch is judged. Because all of this is good, but if we lose in the round of 32 at the World Cup, or frankly, even if we lose in the round of 16 and it's not to a powerhouse, he'll be judged on that. Uruguay about to take notes from Morocco and start their resurgence. Yeah, I don't think Bielsa's going to be there anymore. I think he just coached his last game for Uruguay.
Mhm.
Hector, I'm glad you all realize you have to believe in this team. That's an interesting statement. You can only believe in a team as much as that team is showing you reasons to believe in it. Right now, they're showing us reasons to believe. Since Copa America, has this team given anybody reason to believe? No. No. And so you don't just believe blindly in a team, just like you don't blindly believe in your girlfriend or your wife if they start treating you like shit and you say, oh, I believe in her. No, no, that's not how that shit works. They have to give you reasons to believe. This team is giving the fan base a reason to believe now, so people believe. But before they weren't.
I
Eldin
mean,
Hasic, like 2023 Nations League, this run of W's is without Adams. Well, hang on. Adams played. in the last. Oh no, he played against Japan,
Yeah, he wasn't there last camp because his wife had a kid, and then now he got
and then
injured.
now he's injured. Yeah, injured. I mean, I still think Adams is going to start in that World Cup, whether people like it or not.
I mean, we probably
He's
would have
gonna
got
be
the
there.
win if you replace Adams or you replace Roldan with Adams. We probably would have gotten the wins this
Yeah,
camp.
we
So
still would have gotten both wins, believe me. Berhalter, a more polished Acosta, i.e., set pieces. Love the content, fellas. I think he's definitely better than Acosta. I mean, Acosta's not even starting in MLS anymore, right? He's definitely better than Acosta. More polished? I don't know about that. Here's my question for you, Tack. Who would you prefer on this roster if you had to take one? Roldan or Berhalter?
they asked me that in the live stream in Roldan. I said Roldan.
You would take Roldan.
Yeah,
Why?
because ultimately neither should be playing, and at
Right.
least like in the locker room, we've heard great things about Roldan. So since neither should be playing the World Cup, I'll just bring Roldan for the locker room. I also think Roldan, the games I watched, he's done better in MLS than Sebastian Berhalter. So
I would take Sebastian Berhalter over Roldan. But I see your point about how if neither of them should be playing, then Roldan is just there for vibes. I'm pretty sure Berhalter's there for vibe, could do a fine job as vibes. I don't think Berhalter's going to have a game like that at a World Cup. I'll be honest. I'm happy for him. I'm enjoying it. I don't think he's going to be able to pull that off during a World Cup, right? And I think that comes a little more to the context of what's happening with this Uruguay team right now. There isn't going to be a team like Uruguay at the World Cup that just doesn't really look like a team at all.
maybe
And
an
didn't look
African
like they
team.
were
They
trying.
self-implode mid-World Cup.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. Sometimes they do. Okay. McKennie isn't going to the World Cup. I disagree. Neither is Johnny. Johnny, I agree with you. Maybe. There's a chance, a good chance, Johnny doesn't go to the World Cup. McKennie's 100% going to the World Cup. I mean, unless he's injured or fat. But if McKennie's playing and fit, he's going to the World Cup. He would be, if there was a chance he wasn't going to the World Cup, Poch would have him here right now. Because he would have him here to test him. 100%. The one negative of this game is that the MLS agenda will now be pushed 100%, but kudos to the boys for playing like a team with pride. Look, Javier, the MLS agenda may or may not be pushed. I believe that Poch, when push comes to shove, he knows he's going to a World Cup. Poch knows the level of teams that he's going up against. And even though he's using some of these MLS guys now to push his A team, I think when push comes to shove, that starting lineup at a World Cup, you're going to have at least 8 players from Europe, our best players, right? Like it's going to be Adams plus either Tessmann or McKennie in midfield. It's going to be Pulisic plus one of Gio and Tillman in the attack. It's going to be Balogun up top. It's going to be Dest at right wing back. It could be Arfston and Ream, right? If A-Rob is not healthy, but and Matt Freese is obviously. Look, we're fine with Matt Freese starting. I'm actually starting to be okay with Alex Freeman as center back. I want to see it more in March. I want to see what he looks like against Portugal and against whoever else we end up playing. Could be Morocco is what we're hearing. I'm okay with that if he looks good against those teams. I also want to see how Noah Kai Banks develops over the next 4 months because he could be a very interesting option. Cyrus Atkinson, the Poch rhymes with coach, by the way. Through line is he has eradicated the head cases. Turner, Musa, Sargent, Favors, Confidence. Yeah, but not just the head cases. It's the guys who he hasn't really eradicated anybody. I think Musa is also in danger of not going to the World Cup. I think Musa and
danger.
Johnny.
He probably won't be there.
Yeah, I think it's over for Musa until next cycle.
Musa
honestly,
is less likely than Johnny because Johnny's been out due to injury, so we don't know yet if Pochettino wants him there or not. Musa has literally not been called up.
Yeah. Well, and also Musa refused to go to the Gold Cup when he was healthy. And it's like, dude, you're not Pulisic. You can't do that. I mean, I don't like that Pulisic did it, but he's still Pulisic. You're not Pulisic. You can't refuse to go to the Gold Cup. Oh my God, what happened? Didn't see the game. Go win. Yeah, definitely one of our best wins, one of our best friendly wins in history. Of course, we'll all take a narrow World Cup win over this, for sure. Joshua, wow, I knew we were getting better under Poch, but I didn't expect this good of a game. Looking forward to next year. Still room to improve. Yes, still plenty of room to improve. Best game since our beating Spain in 09? No. For me, you can't compare a friendly to a Confederations Cup semifinal, right? They're not a competitive game versus a friendly are not the same thing.
Well,
This
Pete,
is our best
also
friendly win for
that
sure.
Spain is like one of the best national teams of all time.
Yes, and this is a Uruguay that is disjointed. The players are infighting. They're not happy with the coach. What are the odds that Bielsa's gone this week? I would put them at like 8 out of 10 right now.
He's gone. Like you can't like, especially in a country like Uruguay, you can't survive a 5-1 loss to the US. Along with the fact that there were already like questions about Bielsa, so it's not like he was doing great and this happened. I would say it's 99% that he's gone.
Yeah. The team seems to have very much quit on him. And I want to talk a little about that too. Did anyone play their way into the World Cup roster during the last 2 camps?
Gio Reyna.
Play their way? Freeman
Gio
was
Reyna.
already going to be there.
Gio Reyna. Gio Reyna played his
Oh
way.
yeah, Gio for sure. Gio for sure. Probably Haji with that brace against Australia, although who knows? Let's see what happens in March. Haji was one of the few who did not play well today, by the way. I think Freeman was already there, so I wouldn't say Freeman. Other than that, I think I guess Roldan.
By Pochettino standards, yeah, Roldan.
By Pochettino standards, yes. So Roldan, Gio, that's
Arfston.
kind of it.
Arfston.
I think Arfston was going to be there already. Like by the September
Yeah,
camp, Arfston was
I guess you're right. I think the biggest one is Gio because he was one that was kind of out of the picture, not being called in, not playing for his club. Then an injury crisis hits us. We don't have Pulisic. We don't have Tillman. We don't have Zendejas. Gio gets called in. He gets a goal and assist in the first game and got an assist today off the bench. So Gio definitely played his way into it.
Yeah. Brett says, I've been arguing for months with Oguchi about Freeman because I wasn't sold, and he was. I just told him that he was right. I don't usually like admitting defeat, but on this one, I'm happy to. I think that Freeman was not only was Freeman very good today, but I think the positional switch has also helped him a lot. I think he'd be a very interesting third right center back with his speed. And even if he's not the most technical player out there, I think with his speed and his size, with his decision making, I'd rather have him at right center back than Miles, for sure.
Well, he looked better than Miles both games this camp.
Yeah.
Even though Miles didn't play today, that's probably one of the reasons why we looked better too. But
yeah, honestly. Well, I want to talk about player ratings a little bit. In fact, let's get into that now because I'm not going to go on for a whole hour about this.
There's also no negatives to talk about. So overall negatives.
I do want to talk about Uruguay. And this is the context that I think is important. Will we face any team at the World Cup that looks like the way Uruguay looked today?
Extremely unlikely.
Right. Unless there's like an implosion team like France did in, was it 2010?
France in 2002, wasn't it?
2002, they imploded. But in 2010, they were like fighting. Nicolas Anelka was fighting. Remember, they were on the bus. They were protesting Raymond Domenech. Remember this?
Yeah. Didn't Belgium have this in the last World Cup too?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, remember De Bruyne? I think De Bruyne didn't want to play for the team. Belgium had that.
Yeah.
And they got grouped.
And they got grouped. And that was sort of the end of their golden generation there. I don't want to read too much into player performances, and this goes across the board, not just for the MLS players. Same with Gio's assist, same with Tanner's goal. Just because this Uruguay team in the first half looked completely dead to me, and that's nothing against the players, but when I'm trying to evaluate, can this player contribute in a World Cup? I'm trusting games more like Australia, like Paraguay, like Ecuador, like Japan than this game specifically, because I don't think Uruguay is going to play like this at the World Cup. And so I can celebrate this win. I can be happy for the culture that we're creating and the swashbuckling nature of this win. I'm going to be very skeptical about reading too much into any of these performances, and I'm going to give a lot of these guys very good ratings today, but I'm still going to have the context in my head about some of these performances. I am concerned that Scally is going to get squeezed out of the roster. Thoughts? I am also not sure that Dest will be a starter. Who would start instead of Dest? We don't have a right back then. If you're saying Scally's not there, no, Dest will start 100%. Scally may or may not get squeezed on the roster. It depends how Poch uses Freeman. If Poch decides to use Freeman as a center back, then Scally could still be there, but he could also get squeezed. That's very possible.
Remind me of one thing. Des was subbed out. Did Scally come in?
No. No.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't. We basically moved Berhalter to wingback. Is what we did. Adams, Tessmann, Berhalter, McKennie, Gio, Luna equals World Cup mid. Mid? What do you mean by World Cup mid?
Midfield, I think.
Oh. That's 6 midfielders. No. So Massimo, the way we're doing the midfield now is there's basically 4 midfielders. There's 2 in a double pivot, a holding midfield, and there's 2 tucked in wingers basically playing as attacking midfielders. So you're going to bring at least 4 of the double pivot guys and at least 4 of the attacking midfield guys.
Because the wingers now are attacking midfielders. So
the wingers now are all attacking midfielders.
8. We have 8.
At least 8.
Because Pulisic would be included in that. Tillman would be included in that.
You'd probably bring 10, to be honest. Because it's a World Cup, you have a 26-man roster. So Tillman, Pulisic, Gio, Luna, whoever else is going to be in that attacking. And then, you've got McKennie, Tessmann, Adams. Roldan's going to be there, whether you like it or not.
I don't think Luna's a lock. I don't think he's a lock.
I don't know if he's a lock either. I mean, maybe in Pochettino's. He's called him up to every single camp this year without fail. Every single camp, and played him. I think in Pochettino's mind, Luna's a lock. I think Zendejas needs to get healthy and show something, or he might be the one squeezed. Can we permanently compete in the Copa America? It would be nice, but there's too much bad blood between CONCACAF and CONMEBOL, so it's not going to happen. We would never have gotten this big win against Uruguay if Berhalter was still here. 100%. Thank you, Abraham Johnson. Tack. Let's do player ratings. Let's start with Freese. He had a mistake today. Wasn't punished for it right away, but it was a mistake. Other than that, I thought he was relatively solid. What do you give him?
Not overly tested also, we must say that, right?
No.
5.
I think 5 is generous. Because it's not like he made a bunch of amazing saves to make up for the mistake that he made. And that mistake was bad. He came off his line, tried to get the ball, didn't get it, then went completely off his line and flattened himself and just got chipped. And we're lucky that they didn't score from there.
But they scored right after.
Number 1. Huh?
But they scored right after.
They scored shortly thereafter. Although that was nothing to do with that. He was in the goal. I'll give him 4. I'll give him a 4. That was not a great moment from Matt Freese. And I still have worries about that going into a World Cup. Hopefully he can be solid. Dest. I actually think Dest was not so good today. I thought he was a little quiet. I think he tried to force too much. He had some good runs, but too often he would just dribble with his head down. I'm going to give Dest a 4 also. What do you give him?
I think in a game that many shined or many played well, Dest didn't shine. Besides the Rabona kick, he had to do it, right? We saw that coming at some point. I still wouldn't be that harsh on him. I didn't think he was poor. He was trying to do too much at times, but he also had realistically no one to really combine with, did he?
This is true. This is fair.
So I'll give Dest a 5.5, slightly above average. But he can do better. I just don't think we can expect much from him when you don't have the players to combine. Like, even though players played well, there's still technical limitations with a lot of the ones that were on the field. So I'll give him a 5.5.
Okay. Freeman. 10? 9?
I wouldn't give him... Well, let's try to break it down here. He played as a center back. Do you remember any defensive mistakes? I don't remember any. He wasn't involved in a goal. He was good when we were playing out of the back. He scored a brace, which as a center back, you're not expected to score 1 goal. Nevertheless, scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a 10, dude.
It's a 10. It's like a perfect
what else
game
can you ask from him?
And also the amount of times he charged into midfield with the ball to beat somebody and then set up a pass to start an attack has to be a 10.
Yeah, I don't know where we would deduct a point.
Yeah, that's fair. You go first on McKenzie.
Tricky one, right?
I don't think that goal was on him, to be honest.
Maybe height problem. He couldn't reach the ball.
he was also marking two players. Did you see he had to move from one player to the next to try to block that shot? I actually don't think that was on him at all.
Yeah, I'll put it this way: maybe he doesn't have too much fault, but you're on it, right? So there's some culpability there. Someone has to take blame for that goal. He's one of them. But overall in the game, I thought on the ball he looked good on the ball.
I liked his distribution.
That's what I said about being a ball playing defender. Like, it was quite noticeable the difference between him and Miles. Do you remember any mistakes from him? I don't.
No, I don't. I mean, the Arrascaeta miss, could he have gotten tighter to Arrascaeta on that miss when he sort of sliced it? Maybe. I'm going to give Mackenzie a 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. I think it's fair. Yeah.
Trusty. I don't really remember many mistakes from Trusty either. I don't think he was as good with the ball as Mackenzie was. He mostly just cleared it. But defensively, I thought he was solid.
Not as busy on the ball, but he did have, like, for example, I'm trying to remember him on the ball. He had a very nice through ball to Gio Reyna, actually, finding Gio Reyna in the pocket. Do you remember that?
I think that was more the exception. I think most of the game he was not that good on the ball.
He wasn't as involved also in possession. That too.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll give him a 7. I think 7.
But didn't do anything wrong. Kept Brian Rodriguez quiet. I don't remember getting him beat defensively. Did his job. I'll give him a 7. Yeah, I think that's fair. 7. Aiden Morris. Actually, Aiden is one of the few I'm going to give a not so good rating to, because I didn't think he was very good today. I'm going to give Aiden 5. Just because, I mean, no one's getting a terrible. Well, I'm going to give him a 4.
I was going to give him a 4 too. I thought he was one of the worst performers. Looked sloppy on the ball too every time.
Sloppy, and just also lacked like the ability to like make a game-changing play with the ball. Like, took the ball, controlled it 3 times, tried to protect it, then looked up for a pass. I gotta say, 4 for him.
Mm-hmm.
Sebastian Berhalter, goal and assist, 9.
I'll say this though, not trying to pick on the guy.
Got the red card.
He got the red card. He gets all these boosts because he was crucial for the win. We had a lot of weird moments, shaky moments on the build-out. Bad giveaway here and there. Sometimes he got lucky. The Uruguayan player didn't really control it. On top of that, Uruguay was very anemic, so that's probably why he didn't get punished. But again, at the end of the day, a player gets a goal, which was a nice goal, an assist, that was a nice assist, and he drew the red. I think 9 is fair.
Yeah. 9.
Doesn't get a 10 like Freeman because he made mistakes. Otherwise, he would have gotten a 10.
Yeah. Also, a defender getting 2 goals is different than a midfielder getting 2 goals. Mm-hmm. Aaron Hall goes minus 0.5 for his dad.
Should do that, yeah. Could do that.
Poor guy. Okay.
Who's now? Luna, Aronson, and
I thought Tolkien was very solid defensively, but he didn't offer as much in the attack.
Pete, I just want to go back on one thing real quick that I remember. Didn't Trusty get the assist with Freeman?
For Freeman?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He did.
It was a one-touch pass, dude. I know Freeman did most of the work, but it was a quick one-touch pass.
It was. So should we bump him up to an 8 for that?
7.5.
7.5? Okay. What are your thoughts on Tolkien? Because I thought defensively he was fine. He just didn't really contribute much to the attack as a wingback.
It wasn't bad either on offense. It was okay.
No. It just no step overs, right? Nothing
6.
flashy.
Yeah, 6.
6. I think 6 is fair. Where do you put Diego Luna? Because he had a nice goal. And other than that, what did he really do in the game?
The overall performance was more like a 4 or 5, but he scored a goal. I'll give him a 6. I don't want to give a negative rating to a goal scorer. I'll give him a 6.
No, I think that's fair. 6. And then I am going to give a negative rating to Tim Tillman because I know he got the assist. To be honest, it was a cutback assist to outside the box. Does it count as an assist? Yes. Not the same level as an assist of some of the others. He was also quite poor throughout the game. I don't think that Tillman should have played, to be honest. I don't know why we're just handing out minutes to him. 3.5 for me for Tillman. I thought he was our worst player. Actually, no. I'm going to give it worse to Haji, but
I'll be nicer to him. I'll give him a 4.5, and that's with the assist boost. Just not good enough for the night. We knew that not Malik Tillman or Timmy Tillman, whatever we want to call him, just not good enough for the national team. He got the assist there, so he gets a bit of a bump. I'll give him a 4.5, close to average because of the assist.
I'm giving Haji a 3.
I'm going lower. I'm giving him a 2.
Yeah, he was not good today.
No, he was terrible.
And it's weird because he got those 2 goals against Australia, and then he's gone back to Coventry and hasn't scored since. Almost like Sargent, who just hasn't scored since that camp. And then comes in and puts up a stinker. Is that number 3 striker position still up for grabs? Is my question to you.
Well, is Pepe the lock too?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me,
Okay.
yes.
So in that case, who would Haji be fighting against? It would be Ajiman and Sargent.
Sargent, yeah.
I think in Pochettino's mind, sure, Pochettino loves Ajiman. Might get a shot. Who knows?
Depends what happens in the next 5 months, right? 5 months now or 4 months now. So it's a long time.
Guys, Haji attracted the defenders. That's not why the goals happened, guys. One was a banger from Berhalter that had nothing to do with Haji. The other one was a corner where Freeman won a header.
Yeah.
What was the third goal?
The third goal was the Freeman dribbling through everybody and
Dribbling
scoring.
through. There was no Haji also on that one. I'm sorry. And then maybe the fourth goal when Luna scored, maybe that one Haji distracted. And then the other one, Haji wasn't on the field. So I'm sorry. He did not.
Sounds like we're doing what people are saying about Aguiman, right? We can't do that to Haji. That's not fair.
He didn't do that.
His
Maybe the Luna goal.
Terrible. Huh?
Maybe the Luna goal. I need to remember. Maybe that one, but that's about it.
That was from outside the ball. I think that's a real stretch to try to give Haji credit. Look, and I like Haji, but look, today his hold-up play was poor. Combination play was poor. Didn't score when we scored 5 goals. Didn't get an assist. Decision-making was poor. There was that time where he ran into the box and created space for himself and waited too long to shoot, had it stolen from him. He also had Luna available. I like Haji, guys, but that was a poor performance today. That was poor. Let's see. Now the subs. So the first subs that came on were Tessmann, Gio, and Balogun. Right. Tessmann got a goal, and I thought played well. I'm going to give him a 7.5. 8. Or 7.5.
I'll give him an 8. And Gio got the assist of the goal with a nice cross or lobbed ball into Tessmann. And Gio was okay. I didn't think Gio was brilliant in this game. He was okay when he was in the game. Probably more like a 6 and get a bump, 7 with the assist.
I think Gio was one of the ones who got too excited wanting to get a goal and kind of like over dribbled too much. I'm going to give Gio, 7 for the assist. It was a very nice assist. But other than that, he did work hard though. I'll give him credit there. Did a lot of defending, running back. And then Balogun. I thought Balogun was actually not good. I didn't think he got a lot of service.
No, Balogun wasn't good. I think Balogun for this game, it's fair to give him a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, I think 3 is fair.
Maybe not as bad as Haji, though, because
he wasn't as bad as Haji. That's fair. I'll give him 3.5. The thing is, when Balogun played, we had no momentum. Every time we got anywhere near the box, they just knocked us over. And honestly, that second half tack, the referee ended at 90 minutes. There should have been 15 minutes of added time. Like, how much time did Balogun actually get? In that half an hour, how long was the game stopped for? Honestly, at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, he played like 20, probably 15 to 20.
Yeah, he was still poor in those 15 to 20. So, do we want to rate the other subs? Brendan Aronson.
It was kind of late, right? And the game was
also, by the time they came on, it was just everything was just stoppage. They were just stopping the game over and over again. Pochettino, does he deserve a 10?
Yeah, dude, you beat Uruguay 5-1.
You beat Uruguay 5-1, you deserve a 10, regardless of their special.
And he was pissed that we conceded a goal. I think that's the right attitude. Like, you got to give him a 10. Yeah.
All right, so that is the story of that. Now we have a 4-month break before we see the national team again. But we do have, on the 5th of December, guys, the group stage draw. And that's going to be very exciting, which we will cover right here at 11 Yanks and Tactical Manager as well. A couple more super chats, and then we're going to call it a night. Hey, Tack and Pete, the student beat the teacher. Bielsa used to coach Pochettino at Newell's Old Boys. Yeah, he was his mentor for a long time. Alyssa, love how noticeable the improvements in culture, lineups. Well, I'll push back on lineups, but improvements in culture, player quality has been throughout this year. Feeling optimistic about 2026. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you, Pete and Tack, for your coverage throughout this year. We got a new member. Thanks for joining, young Rami. Is anyone actually convinced in this team? I think a lot of people are excited, I think the only way to be truly convinced is to see how we look in a competitive game, and we're not going to get that until the World Cup, right? So people are excited, and they are right to be, because this has been a very, very good performance, a very, very good stretch of performances, 5 games. Do you guys think any player in MLS after this game will get a transfer to Europe? They will, Julian, but not as a result of this game. Most European scouts are not going to watch one friendly and transfer a guy. I think Alex Freeman is probably going to Europe this winter, but that's based on a lot more than just this one game. Thoughts on
Hold on. Let me just ask you one thing about the MLS players. Do you think some of them might hold off and make the move during the summer because they might be afraid of losing the World
after
Cup
the
spot?
World Cup? Yeah, but I think
think so.
Alex Freeman might be gone.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Diego Luna ain't going anywhere. Berhalter, nobody wants Berhalter. Nobody's getting Berhalter. Thoughts on no Pepe tonight? Well, he gave his chance to Haji and Balogun. Pepe missed a sitter in the last game, so maybe Poch is punishing him a little bit, or maybe he just wanted to give Haji another chance. I actually think with Haji's performance today, Pepe's stock went up. I think Pepe was a beneficiary of Haji's performance today. So, all right, guys, I'm going to do the Patreon video tomorrow. Tack, you're going to do a 7 things we learned. Are you doing an Xmas TNT tournament show? TNT?
Christmas
You mean-
TNT tournament show?
Does he mean TST?
But what is a Christmas TST tournament show?
Maybe to talk about what happened at TST? I don't know.
Maybe if we have time also, guys, we probably want to rest during Christmas.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you mean by a TNT show, Ruben. But guys, hit that like button before you go. Oh, a couple more super chats. Do you think it's time for DL and AF to go to Europe?
Who's DL and AF?
Oh, Alex Freeman and?
Who's DL?
Who's DL?
Diego
Oh,
Luna.
Sebastian.
Diego Luna. Diego Luna.
Oh, yeah, they should both go. They should both go. I think Freeman might. We'll see. I think Luna will not until after the 2026 World Cup. If ever. If ever. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button before you go, and we'll talk to you all soon.